All right, guys, so your first step in making your sunflowers, like any project in here, is to write your name, teacher table on the back, and then turn it over. Now next, I'm gonna show you an example. So here's one that I did just a couple minutes ago, and I'm gonna kind of model some of the thinking that I did as I looked at my reference to make my drawing, all right? So our target today is I can observe details to improve my drawing. Now, to do that, I'm really gonna have to look at my reference for a little bit and think about some things that I notice, like the size of the flowers, the shape of the flowers, even details like how the petals look. Then I'm gonna draw my picture big because I notice in this reference that the sunflowers are big in each of these pictures, and that's gonna help my picture look more interesting. I'm thinking that the middle of the sunflower looks like a circle in these pictures, or sometimes an oval. So I am gonna start with a big circle. Now, I'm gonna next look at the petals, and I notice that they're kind of fat at the end, and then they come up to points. I'm going off the page there. You know what? That's okay. And in fact, that makes my picture look more interesting. I also noticed that a lot of these sunflowers go off the pages too if I look at my reference. In this painting, you can hardly see the whole sunflower. You can only see part of it. So it is okay if my sunflower is big and goes off the page. I also noticed that sometimes you can see petals behind other petals. So I'm drawing some petals behind. I'm gonna keep making those observations and adding details that I see, and I'll show you what this sunflower looks like when it's done. All right, so I added a couple more details. I noticed that some sunflowers have stems with leaves that come off the stems, so I added a stem on one of my sunflowers. I also noticed that sunflowers grow in groups. So it's very rare to see just one sunflower by itself, so I actually added a second sunflower behind my first one. Those are some of the details that I noticed and wanted to add. Now our last step today is to take our black oil pastel, and anything that is a pencil line on my paper gets covered up. I shouldn't see any pencil left on your picture. It should be all covered up by this black oil pastel. So take your time with this step, go slow. Notice I'm not getting the black oil pastel on my hands. I'm not rubbing my picture with the black oil pastel. I'm carefully holding it and going over the pencil lines. I shouldn't see you with black hands at the end of class. That means you're not using our materials right, and that's not okay. All right, you guys have fun.